Hi, welcome everybody. I hope you're tuning in tonight to see the Create with Kelley crew members kind of make some comments and help me create some cards tonight. I've got a couple of different Christmas cards coming up. One of them has the Beauty of the Earth DSP, and I'm also using it's the Bright Baubles bundle. I think it's the Delicate Baubles dies that goes on one of the cards. And then one of them is a really simple card that is from the Gingerbread and Peppermint Designer Series paper. So I'm glad somebody has tuned in here. Can't see yet who it is. Hope you'll let me know who you are and where you're from when you join us. Would love to see that. And please make comments. I'll try to watch while I'm doing the video and answer any questions or anything you have. That would be great. Hope y'all are all ready for Thanksgiving tomorrow or getting ready. A friend of mine I had dinner with tonight has hurt her toe, and so she's had heck getting ready for Thanksgiving. But I've lost the one viewer. I don't know. I do need some more makeup on, I can tell you that. I didn't realize I had sneezed off all of my eye makeup, I think, tonight. I've been sneezing all day and runny nose, so don't know what's up. I think it's just allergies galore. But I am happy to share some cards with you tonight and hope you enjoy it. We will give everybody a couple of minutes to get on, and then we will get after it. Let me check on my iPad here. I want to get set up so I can see your comments. Let's get to that. See if anybody else is tuned in. I look a little sleepy without all the eye makeup I usually wear. Let me get this one going on my computer now. We'll refresh this screen. See if it'll come up for me. And I'll introduce myself in just a minute. For those of you who don't know me, I'm glad you've tuned in. Let's see, let me get this up before so I can, here we go. That way I can be sure and see your comments. Put it on the big screen here and swipe over. Now, I've got it where I can see comments. I see I've got one viewer. We will see who that is. Please do let me know. Hi, Susan. Thank you for tuning in, and I bet you're the one who has shared too. Thanks a lot for that. Hope you're having fun getting ready for Thanksgiving. And do you have your Christmas cards done yet, Susan? I'm behind on mine. I thought I would be able to get everything done now that I'm finally get to be full-time Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm excited. But I will go ahead and introduce myself just in case I can't see everybody watching. It just shows I have you, Susan, which I'm thrilled to have. I think some others probably will tune in. Oh my gosh. Tanya has had hers ready. She did like 100 and something, and she's had them done for a while. And I need to do 100, and I've done 30, I think, that I did weekend before last. I got all those paper pumpkin ones done. I don't know if you saw that video, but let's see. Well, we've given people a little bit of time to get on, so I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I'll introduce myself, and I'm Kelley Pitts from Lubbock, Texas. I am a Stampin' Up independent demonstrator since 2005, and I have a small crew here of team members who I call my Captain's Club, and then everybody who is interested in watching crafting with me or coming to classes or anything like that, I call you part of my Create with Kelley crew. So I'm glad, Susan, I'm glad you started with the paper pumpkin ones. That's great. We were just talking about Christmas cards, so I am going to show you a couple tonight. Hope you enjoy it, and I hope I haven't done one of these already. I had planned to do one of them for a Facebook Live, but I don't think I ever did. So hopefully it won't be a repeat for y'all. And a couple of you have been to a class. Hi, Jane Sims. Glad you're watching. Thanks for tuning in. and I'll go ahead and get started. I will turn the camera down if y'all will be patient with me while I flip her around. Just a sec. Alrighty, let's see how we did here. See if we're centered or what. I've hit my computer here, so now can't see everything. Whoops, I gave you a sneak peek there for a second, didn't I? Let's see if I can move my stand a little bit. Get my comments back up. There we go. Alrighty. And as I said, I'm Kelley Pitts in Lubbock, Texas, and I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator and would love to help you with any orders you have or answer any questions you have. We have an annual catalog out right now and also have a holiday mini catalog that is good through December. And there will be a sale coming up on some of the retiring stuff, which means it goes fast. And then I also have a list that I'll be sharing with my Create with Kelley crew subscribers on my blog soon. And that will go live on December 1st. We'll know what all's going on sale, what all is retiring, all of that information. I think, as far as I know, unless I'm confused, which it could happen. All right. Well, I'm going to show you one of the simple card that we're going to do tonight is this Merry Christmas card here that is from the Gingerbread and Peppermint Suite. And wow, my iPad is either frozen or way behind or something. I can see it on my computer screen and not my iPad. That's weird. I've never had that happen. I don't know. I guess I'll go back out of Facebook, come back in. There we go. Now it's appeared. But it's just a simple little card with the inside like this. We made this at my beginner class that I had last week. I had some new folks there join me, and I was thrilled to have some beginners. Yay! I love to do some of the fun folds and techniques and all that for my folks who have been around a long time, but I also enjoy having some beginners join us. So that's one of the cards, and then I'm going to show you one with the Beauty of the Earth DSP, which I have done a lot. We're going to do a different version of this card. I'm going to step it up a little more. I started with this as a simple card with just a little label and the designer series paper from the Beauty of the Earth set, and then we've got a little embossing going on here, and then the mesh ribbon. And then I kind of changed it up a little bit and did the mesh ribbon on the side and added a little foil and a little bit of the silver. It's not really twine. I'm trying to think of what they call that. It came with a gold and a silver in a pack. So I'm going to move this up a little bit out of the way. I think I might just move that all the way over there, so we have more room here. We'll see how that works for us. And then, like I said, this is kind of a simplified version. Then it stepped up a little bit. And tonight on camera, we're going to step it up even more. And we'll get started. Which one do you want to see first? Susan and Jane? Y'all are the ones that have commented, so y'all get to tell me which one you want to do first. Do you want to do the blue one, or do you want to do the gingerbread one? What sounds good? Which one do you want to see first? Either of y'all. It takes a minute for me to get the comments. So, oh, I'm glad you like it, Susan and Jane. Okay, y'all have a preference? Do you want to just start with the easy one and then go to the stepped up one? That seems to make sense to me. We'll just try that since I haven't heard a comment from y'all. I'm thinking y'all aren't going to be real particular. We are going to start with the Gingerbread and Peppermint card. And this is the designer paper. I did not get the stamp set and dies that go with this, but it is a gorgeous bundle, and I wish I had gotten it. I just got the Whimsy and Wonder instead, and then I haven't had a chance to even work very much with that suite. I did a couple of cards early on, but this is kind of a different color combination for Christmas using our cinnamon cider color, which is, this is very distracting. My iPad keeps freezing up here. Huh, it's way behind even my computer screen. That's never happened before. But this is our cinnamon cider cardstock, and it is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And we are simply going to add the designer series paper. This is part of the gingerbread and peppermint suite, as I said. I'll show you some of those sheets in case you haven't seen that before. And all I did was, I've cut up several little pieces out of here, but it has a lot of cute papers, and it comes in a 6x6 pack. And of course it has some, and you can see the front and the back here. We've got several different patterns with red and green. We've got some with green, some with red. We've got some of the cinnamon cider color that looks like gingerbread. And oddly enough, we have peppermint and we have gingerbread. And then we have some other papers that, here's another one, the stripe. And then I had a lot of papers that cut out that had trees like this, or they had bells and ornaments and this kind of thing that I've already cut out that we're going to make some more cards with. So we've got lots of those with snowflakes and bells and lots of fun goodies. So I'll be doing another card with that shortly. Not tonight, but soon. And we'll get ready for this one now. And I've got some of the beautiful curly ribbon we may add. I agree, Susan, this is a cute suite. I love this real red curly ribbon. Love it, love it, love it. So we may add a little bit of this to our card tonight or stick with it like it is. I'm kind of going to leave that up to y'all and see what you want to see. Okay. We will go ahead and use our silicone mat here on this one. I'll try to move all my little pieces around out of the way so it's not distracting to you. I'm going to use our Stampin' Seal tonight, and I just go right toward the end. You really, if you're not used to this seal, it just takes you a little bit to get used to how to hold it, where you hold the bottom parallel to your tabletop. And that's all there is to it. You just have to make sure, I'm going to line this up where I have an even border from the top. So it's kind of even border on each side and the top there. Then we're going to stamp the Merry Christmas. Oh, Susan, I just saw a blue one. After I'd already started this one. It's only going to take a minute to do this one. It is, like I said, it's a simple, simple one. All right, we're going to ink up this Merry Christmas that comes from, let me show you which set that came from. This is from the Heartfelt Wishes. It has Merry Christmas, Happiest Holidays, Much Gratitude, Sending Love, Cheers, and then you can put, and a Happy New Year from our family to you and yours, this wondrous season, and Heartfelt Wishes. So it's a lovely little set. And if you don't have this one and would love to have it, the item number is 156541. And that's what we'll use, the Merry Christmas greeting on the front. And I'm going to do it upside down like this. Make sure I'm in the camera view here. Because I think it's easier, since this stamp is actually longer than my stamp pad, I'll turn it upside down the other way. And I am going to stamp this toward the bottom because I want to have plenty of room for my little border. And just stamp straight down, put some pressure, and straight up. Try not to wiggle or rock back and forth, and you'll get a lot better impression. And also using the Stampin' Pierce mat makes a big difference. All right, that's all there is to that. And then on the inside, we can, I think I have a little strip that we're going to put. Let me see. I'm going to clean this off real quickly, and then we'll figure out if we want to write something on the inside or kind of what we want to do. I'll show you a couple of options. We'll just go ahead and put this on. And you have to make sure and pull the seal towards you to break that piece of tape. It's like a strip of tape that you're gluing, and you really have to make sure it snaps. Otherwise, it'll stretch and kind of make a mess on you. And it doesn't matter. These should meet in the middle, but if you don't cut it perfectly, it's not really a big deal because we're going to cover it with this little border. And this cute little border was all on one sheet of paper. They were just one after another, just kind of alternating like that. And I just chopped it out of there. I'm going to move that out of the way and just do a little fussy cutting and show you it is quick to do this. Just leave some of the cinnamon cider or kind of brown color around the edge. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to follow the contours exactly. All it is just to give you a little idea of cut out gingerbread cookies that are iced. So nobody's expecting that to be perfect. Your cookies aren't going to be perfect, and your card doesn't have to be perfect. It's handmade, and people know you made it with love and feel fortunate to get one. So I think that's what's really a lot of fun about Stampin' Up, is because you get to the thrill and the fun of designing a card and creating a card, and then figuring out who that card is going to be sent to, and then whoever receives the card gets just as excited and happy as you did making it when they receive it. And a lot of people, I know I hear stories over and over and over of how many people save their handmade cards year after year and keep displaying them. So that makes you feel better about spending an hour or two making a card. I know it shouldn't really take an hour or two to make a card, but some of them, which are really kind of complicated, may take that long. So you don't want to send out 100 of those unless you start really early in the year making your Christmas cards. And all I'm doing, like I said, I'm just what crafters call fussy cutting, which is just cutting around the outline of an image. Susan, yeah, sometimes it does. It really takes that long. But once you've gotten it designed and cut out, then it's not as long a process to make the card itself a lot of times. But it definitely is a labor of love. But I think most of the time, if you're going to send one of these precious cards to somebody, you've already chosen who it's going to go to and know that they're going to appreciate your efforts and know how much you care about them because you made it for them. All right, we'll get that mess out of the way. And all I did, like I said, I just cut this to the same length or width as these pieces, which are, I didn't tell you that, did I? I believe they're 2 inches. Yeah, each one of these is 2 inches by 5 1/4. So I cut this paper, and that is a tip too. If you have this paper and you want to make this card, I would recommend cutting the paper to 5 1/4 before you cut this strip out, because once you cut this, it is really hard to line it up and keep it straight on the strip. So it's easier to go ahead and cut it to 5 1/4 first, because it comes in a 6 inch by 6 inch piece like I said. Hi, Glenn. Glad you've tuned in. We are going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals. I hope. Had some moments ago. We shall see where they are. Kelley. And I hope I don't sneeze in your ear. If I do, y'all have to forgive me because I have had major sneezing and allergies here lately. I don't know what's up with that, but have y'all had a problem with allergies lately? Whew, my eyes are itchy and I'm sneezing, nose running, my nose is red. That's why I didn't even put much eye makeup on today, because I have been, my eyes have been watering and sneezing it off, so. And you just align this where your line between the top gingerbread piece and your white bottom piece that has the greeting on it, where that line between those doesn't show. It can be a little lower, a little higher, just as long as it covers that line. It's great. Alrighty. Now, we'll grab some little real red rhinestones, which we have had in the catalog for quite some time, and I'm quite grateful for that. These go so well all year long because you use them for Valentine's Day, use them for Christmas, you can use them for Mother's Day, you use them with a lot of different papers, so they are handy, and they're just called real red rhinestones. They are in our annual catalog. Now, do y'all think we need just those three, or would you want to see some more scattered down here, or what's your preference? Anybody have a preference on that? While I get set up to do the inside of the card, we'll figure out what we want to stamp there. And this one, I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit larger piece. This one is 5 by 3 3/4. 5 by 3 3/4. And I always try to stamp first before I do anything else on the inside. I'm not sure what I want to do. There is, like I said, there is a bundle that goes with this set, and I did not get that stamp set, but it has You're the Icing to My Gingerbread, and it has Sending Peppermint Kisses or something like that. That's really, really cute. But I think this is pretty on the inside to just do it like we did here. This was a little bit smaller piece on this one. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's the same size. But I think that's cute. I'm going to chop that off with my trimmer. This should probably be, let's see what I said here, 3 3/4. So we'll do this 3 1/2. Just make it a 1/4 inch smaller. And we'll just glue that right over there on the side. With our Stampin' Seal. And I'm just making the even border all the way around again. There we go. Do y'all think we want to put anything else? I think since this is a simple card and that blue one is going to take a while, we will go ahead and finish this one up and not stamp anything on it. Leave us room to write a little greeting in here. Just use our little Stampin' Seal. And there we have it. Easy peasy. Isn't that cute? Just a simple card. And there's so much you can do with that paper. I will do another Facebook Live, I'm sure, with some of that paper. Glad you like it. Thanks for the hearts. I love that. I appreciate the feedback. Always makes me feel good. Thank you, thank you. We will move on to our next card. And this one is made with Night of Navy. You could use Night of Navy or Misty Moonlight. Misty Moonlight's a really pretty color. We'll be using that on some upcoming cards also. And this was in the Beauty of the Earth DSP. This is the other side of that Designer Series paper. And this is from that fall card I did on a video or two ago. This is the same paper pack. I saved this paper so that I could use it for a Christmas card because I thought it looked wintry. Okay, and this is actually cut. This is 4 1/4 by 11, so your 8 1/2 by 11 is cut in half. Then I scored it at 5 1/2, and then I put it on the trimmer and just cut up from the edge to the score line at 3/4 inch. This is 3/4 of an inch. Just double checking myself. Yes, 3/4 of an inch. And then we're going to just cut those little tabs off. And you can use your trimmer or you can use your scissors. Paper snips. Stampin' Up's paper snips are awesome. And we recommend kind of putting it up. You don't usually want to go past wherever you want to cut is where you want that tip to be. You don't want to put your tip further just in case you go a little too far with your scissors, which I have been known to do. Then I'm going to line this up, make sure that bottom's lined up, use our bone folder, make sure and burnish that score really well. And then I've got a little bit, see, I've got a little bit too much, it's a little too ragged. I cut on the wrong side of the score line evidently. So I'm going to snip that off. And if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter. It's a handmade card, right? People aren't expecting assembly line work. They're expecting handmade work. So that's what makes it special. All right. So that's all there is to that part. Then we've got 2 little Misty Moonlight pieces, which are 5 1/4 by 1. They might be a little bit more. Maybe they are, let's just measure it here. 5 3/8. So they're 5 3/8 each. And I'm going to see which way y'all want me to do this one. Let's see. Well, maybe I want to do the die cut first before we put these in. And then we'll decide if we want the texture on these. One of these I textured. I'll move this out of the way. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put this down since that doesn't affect anything. And I would recommend using your little silicone mat under there to make sure you don't get glue on your work surface. But I didn't have it right here handy, so I didn't use it this time. But luckily we're good. Good to go. Okay, so that sheet of paper starts off as a 12 by 12. And this is 3 inches, I believe. So you can get, let's look at this for it. No, it's 2 5/8. Each of these are 2 5/8 by 5 3/8. Let's see, yeah, because this is 5 1/2, so that would be 5 3/8. It's just a little bit smaller border than I usually use. And y'all have to forgive me, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to blow my nose a little bit. Hi, Jennifer. Sorry you couldn't find it. I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if I had it miscoded or what, but I'm glad you're here. Okay, what we're going to do is get out our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Well, I'll go ahead and, before I move all this over, I can go ahead and stamp my Merry Christmas. I'm going to stamp that in Knot of Navy to match this cardstock. We'll grab our Stampin' Pierce mat. And this label is the everyday label that is in the annual catalog. And it is item number 144668. And I use that one quite a lot. All right. So we're going to find our Merry Christmas. Oh, well, we may not need this. I don't think we're going to need this. Never mind. That was for this version of the cards, of this card. We had two different versions. We had the Merry Christmas with just the white label and the mesh bow, and we have the Merry Christmas here with foil, and then I moved the mesh over to the sides. This one is embossed, texture embossed with the Evergreen 3D folder. So you've got trees here and trees here. In case you couldn't tell by this paper, those are trees, and it's in the Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy. But on this one, we are going to step it up, and I haven't tried this yet. I just thought about doing it. So we are going to give it a try. And what we'll do, in case y'all haven't used this, let me move that again. Hold on, we'll do this part first where y'all can see better. I'm gonna use the Joy die from the it's from the Delicate Baubles dies. There's a Marion Bright one that we've used on a card previously, if y'all remember that Mint Macaron and Blushing Bride and the silver stripe paper we used before with the Marion Bright. It was beautiful. And now we're gonna try the Joy. But what we'll do is attach this to, I want to raise it up, and it's hard to find a place to put dimensionals on here. So we're going to use our foam adhesive sheet. These are whatever size this is. Let me look at this. They're about 4.5 inches square. 4-ish, and you get 6 in a pack, and it's item number 152815 if you're interested in these. After we try this, we'll see how it works for this. I think it's going to work great, but it has a backing on both sides. It's like a sheet of Stampin' Dimensionals where they're not cut out yet for you. What we're doing is carefully trying not to get our fingers stuck. It's kind of like fly paper, or that sticky fly paper, you know, when you were kids, or we've got other electronic things to do flies, get rid of flies now, but I remember that sticky paper that they flew into, and it was really not attractive at all and was really sticky. So what we're going to do is add the foil sheet, attach it to the foam adhesive sheet. Then we're going to put the die on there and cut that out after I move this stuff out of the way. Okay. I'll try to get this where y'all can see what we're doing. And I'm not sure exactly. I have not done this since we got our new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, so I'm not sure how many of these plates we're gonna need. We're just gonna have to try it out and see. I bet I'm gonna need, since it doesn't have to be exact, I may not need a Post-it note or anything to hold that on there, but I might. We'll just see how this works. And I've cut that into a 3-inch square, I believe. Both of them are 3 inches. I think we've got this where you can see it, hopefully. We're gonna try this sandwich like this. See if it goes through okay. Yep, I'm gonna go back through a couple times. I don't know how the foam adhesive sheet, I don't know if that's gonna make it better or what on the detailed die. We'll just check it out and see. Alrighty, get this out of the way. There we go. And excuse my sniffles, sorry. Now I should have used a clear a plate that wasn't so scratched up. If y'all just be careful when you're using foil, if you're using a big area like this, to try to use a plate on top that hasn't been scratched up. But this really actually made a pretty neat texture. So we may be able to do something with that part too. But what we're going to do is just make sure we've got this cut all the way through, which we did. And then we're going to take this off. Yay. Put this back in with my dies before I lose that. Then we'll take our, let's get a little sheet. We'll just do it over this and see how this works. May not have been a good idea at all. May take a little too much time to poke all this out. Didn't think about that it doesn't come out as easily as it would. I initially was going to use one of our adhesive sheets and just attach it to that, but then I thought, how am I going to get this raised up? I really wanted it to be raised. So, as I said, this is the first time I've tried one of these sheets since we've gotten our new machine, and certainly on anything this detailed. I haven't tried it out yet, but seems to be working fairly well. It's not too tedious yet. Y'all may be going, well, it's not tedious for you, but for those of us in the audience, it's pretty tedious. So how about, what is everybody doing for Thanksgiving? Y'all want to make a comment and say if you're staying out of town, or going out of town, or staying at home, or what you're doing? Are you the one who's cooking, or is somebody else cooking for you, or are y'all cooking all together? What's the deal with the family Thanksgiving? Jennifer, Susan, anybody else around? I know what Jennifer's doing. She is going out of town to be with family. I'm trying to be very careful here and make sure. I try usually to take away what I don't want, as opposed to trying to keep what I do want, if that makes sense here. Since what I do want is really skinny, the little lettering on the joy. So if you concentrate on the part you don't want and just push it away, sometimes that's easier than trying to pull up what you do want. If that makes sense. Isn't this a pretty die? I think these are gorgeous. I love the Marion Bright one too. And you can cut this out separately. If I have that in here, I'll show you that option too for this card. I just wanted to try something a little different for this one. We're getting close here, peeps, close. And I could leave some of this in, really. And some of it may have come off without doing all this when I pulled the back off, but I didn't want to. Whoa! Make sure you move your finger out of the way when you use the little pokey tool. It does go all the way through. If your fingers are in the wrong spot, you have to watch out. Okay, now we just like a little bit right there, and a little bit right there. So you can see what I mean about just taking away the parts you don't want. And we've got a little thing there. We'll get rid of that. Now, I'll get rid of all this trash. Okay. And what I'm thinking, oh, I forgot about this part. Okay, we're going to set this aside now and cut our the outline die. This has two dies and has one that's the background and one that's the foreground, if that makes sense. So we will get our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine back out real quickly. And I don't know if I'm going to want it on the navy or the white since I haven't done it. So we're going to cut out both one at a time, and then we'll compare and see what we think. Take a vote and see. And one time through should be plenty on that since it's not a detailed die. It's going to cut out the outline just great. Okay, then we're going to come back through with the white. Sorry, shaking the camera there, shaking the table. Now, we'll move that again. And we have a white option. Now, here's the card back again. We're going to see what we think of this on here. So y'all have to tell me what your vote is. If you like the joy on the white, or you like the joy on the navy. And then we will decide if we want to tie some of that mesh ribbon up there or some of the cord. Can I have some votes? Oh, good for you. Sam's cooked some stuff for me too, Jennifer. You have a fun trip to Littlefield. Oh, Susan, you and Dale, that's nice. Sorry you can't be with all your family, but it's nice that y'all get to have a simple meal together. Jennifer votes Navy. Susan, do you have a vote? Or anybody else who's still watching? I can't tell. Haven't had any more comments in a while. I know Glenn was watching earlier. And Jane, are y'all still on? There's the navy. Here's the white. Yeah, I agree, Jennifer. I think the white doesn't show up enough. The foil, that silver foil, really shows up better with the contrast with the navy. Okay, so all we do here is peel off the backing, which thankfully for you is much easier than what we did a while ago. We'll just mount that to the ornament, and we should have poked a hole first. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna kind of leave this up where we can decide if we want to put some mesh ribbon or some of the cord through there. We'll just take a little bit of this and use our ribbon scissors. See if we want to just tie a little bow with this. We'll just tie a loose one because I want to show you the mesh too. Okay, that's not perfect, but it gives you the idea of how it would look with the cord. That loop's a little too big, of course, but okay, so we're going to vote cord or mesh ribbon, which I'll show you next. I get this undone. I think we can put some of this mesh through here. It may just make a knot instead of a bow. And you could poke a hole in the navy if you wanted and have it go all the way through if you've got a good hole punch. But right this minute, I'm just going to try to thread that mesh through there. And then tie a bow with that, or we may just want a knot. Kind of got a lot going on with that detailed die. Probably would be easier to just use a bow jig and add the bow on top rather than trying to tie it through there. But it was worth a shot, right? Okay, y'all think you're gonna like the mesh before I go any further? Or the cord. Okay, there's how the mesh would look if we got it fixed a little better. Cut it a little shorter. What do y'all think, cord or mesh? Susan's wanting mesh. Hi Glenn, I'm glad you're still there. All right, anybody want to vote for the cord, or we've got two yes for the mesh, so we'll go with that. Probably need to cut it a little bit less than that even. We don't want that to overwhelm the whole card, do we? Oops, I kind of cut that the wrong way. Let's do that. Move this out of the way. What do y'all think of that? Do you want it centered? Do you want it over to the side? Whoops, we haven't done our little... Now that we have this, I'll let y'all decide if you think we should. I think the mesh on the side would be too much. That wouldn't show up, so that's out. So do y'all want the plain Misty Moonlight here, or do you like the texture of the evergreen? We'll put that here, like that. Isn't that cool how that foam adhesive sheet worked and really raises that joy up, so you've got a really 3D effect on that ornament. Isn't that pretty? Length of the mesh through the loop and tied in a bow with the cord. I could have done that, Jennifer. I just see it now, though. Is this all right, the way this is tied? Or do y'all want... If you think we need cord too, we can certainly do that. What do you think? Okay, Jennifer said textured, so we'll go ahead and run that through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Give it a little texture. I'll show you how I did that on the other card. We will. Now with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, we only need our base plate, and we'll put our, usually the Stampin' Up logo goes on top on the folder. In this case, it's not going to matter because we can flip it over anyway. And what I'm doing is just lining this up. I'm going to see how it looks here on the front. See, that's not quite centered for that strip. I don't know if y'all can tell that on camera. But that's got this tall tree and this tall tree and a little bit on the sides, okay? Then we're going to put it hinge first, always, if you can. Whoops, and that slipped a little bit. Not that it'll really matter a lot. But we'll try to get it straightened back up. Okay, then we're going to put plate number 4 on top of it. So you've got plate 1, and that's your piece of bread when you're making your sandwich. Then you've got your meat and cheese, which is your paper and your embossing folder. Then you've got your other piece of bread on top, which is the number 4 plate. And I always try to line my plates up so that your base plate and your top plate line up, and it should go through better that way. Then just run it through. Get this moved over. Here we have it. And now we have textured trees on our paper. And you could, if you had plenty of time, you could take some craft white ink with a little sponge and see if you can make those trees show up a little more. Or if you have a silver, we used to have a silver ink that would be gorgeous on there also. But since the white craft ink takes a bit to dry, I won't try that tonight. We'll just go ahead and do it this way. Let's get our silicone mat. And I think I will use liquid glue. You can use your favorite liquid glue to put this on, but I prefer it. We could have used the Seal Plus on that texture and it would have been fine, I'm sure. And really, you could use either side, the embossed or the debossed, but I kind of like the embossed on this one. And I use a little more of the liquid glue than I normally would, just because it's textured. And again, just leave an even border all the way around. So you've got about a 1/16. Since this is cut 1/8 of an inch shorter than the base, you've only got a 1/16 inch border all the way around. And here we go with the other side. Same thing here, just even little border. Then on the inside, we're going to, since it's such a little room to write, I think this is plenty of decoration for the inside. Just going to use a little bit of that piece. When you cut the 12 by 12 down and cut it to this 5 3/8, you're gonna 5 3/8 on top and 5 3/8 on bottom. You're gonna have a little strip left. So that's what I used on the inside. And we're just gonna glue that in. If you wanted to stamp a sentiment inside, you could do that too. But like I said, your space is kind of limited on what you can. You got to check it before you glue that down, before you really set it. Make sure that it fits behind here. You don't want your white peeking out the sides there. It shouldn't if you cut it properly, or if I cut it properly in class. There we go. Now we're going to add the joy. And we can glue that down with a glue dot and then just do this on the side. I kind of like it down here, hanging over the side. What do y'all good with that? I think since this is raised, we can glue this down flat. I don't think we would have to double bump it up. That would really add some postage, I guess. Whoops! Do as I say, not as I do here. I went a little too far with my glue. Let's see if I can get that off. I bet y'all were telling me that in the background, right? The tip. Oh, yes, for narrow strips. Yes. All right. We'll just move some of this over. And glue that down. Then we'll fiddle with the bow till we get it like we like it. I'm going to use a glue dot underneath the knot in the bow. We'll just get that off with our Take Your Pick tool. And stick that right under there and stick that knot on there. Just like that. Now, who wouldn't enjoy getting that Christmas card? Isn't that pretty? And it really wasn't difficult, even though it was kind of stepped up from what the others were. I'll show you all three of those again. From simple to stepped up. A couple of ways to step it up, right? Move that over a little bit. So this is just using the Everyday Label Punch, and this is using the Everyday Label Punch twice. All I did was, this silver foil is exactly the same shape as the white. I just turned it crossways. So, y'all helped me design a card tonight, and we need a few of the holiday rhinestones on there. Y'all are about to let me go without putting bling on there. Oh my goodness. Can't have that. And if you wanted to add other colors to it, you certainly could. But I like the monochromatic theme of using just the blues, shades of blues and silver. So I'm going to put a large one kind of down here at the bottom. We have a runaway. There we go. And I guess all those, there's not really a medium and a small. They're just large, and I think we need one I kind of like them in those splotches there a little bit. And I usually do 3 because odd numbers keep your eye on the page a little longer. They just seem to be more pleasing to the eye. Now we've got a little flow going. There we go. And these are the holiday rhinestones that work for fall and winter with all of the blues and greens and reds and orangey yellow. And those are number 150457 if you need some of those holiday rhinestone basic jewels. And do y'all have any other questions or anything? I would love to help you if y'all need to order any products. Happy to help with that or answer any questions. Call me anytime. Hope you'll keep tuning in for Facebook Lives and let me know if I still haven't heard a lot of response on whether or not the 7:15 time is good. I've got some people who want it to be earlier, some people who want it to be later, some people who could have it during the day. Just trying to decide what most of my audience wants. I'll turn the camera up and say goodnight in just a minute here. Let me put our other gingerbread card up here so we have a shot of that. I'll take these away and then we'll put this one up. There we go. So we kind of have a shot of that. And I've really enjoyed, I'm glad you think they're elegant. And Susan, thanks for the flexibility with the time. I appreciate that. Okay, I will turn the camera up and we will say goodnight and go get ready for Thanksgiving. Just a sec. I didn't have my finger over the camera after all. Woo! I can tell I'm just sleepy looking with not much makeup and a red nose. I'm going to be like Rudolph tonight, I guess. Lots of allergies. Well, thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you being part of the Create with Kelley crew. Let me see if you have any other... Oh, I did have an announcement. Let me see if I can find my little note here. I doubt it, but we will be having a sale starting December 1. Some of the retiring, they have put out the list of the retiring items, those that are retiring from the holiday mini catalog, the July through December catalog. It's called the Last Chance Products. And if y'all want me to email you that list as soon as I can release them December 1st. I'll be glad to do that. And if I get word that we can release them before then, I'll be glad to send it to you. And that way you know which ones, if you've got items on your wish list, which I would love to help if anybody out there has a husband or family members or anybody who might need little hints about Christmas presents for you. I would love to send you a wish list and let you fill that out and let me contact your Santas and see if you might get something you really, really love. Some paper crafting from Stampin' Up. Tools and products. So if y'all are interested in that, let me know. And then they did make an announcement that, or Stampin' Up did, that they're not, as of December 1st, they're not going to let you order any items that are on back order. So in the past, we've had a section of products that are back ordered, and when you put it in the cart, it'll say this item is back ordered, and it'll let you know when you should be getting it. But with all this COVID crisis of global shipping and all that mess that's still going on, I can't even believe that it's still going on. But it's affecting a lot of companies, not just Stampin' Up, of course. But they have decided, rather than disappoint you customers and promising you a date that it might come in after it's back ordered, that they just aren't going to accept back orders, which means whatever you order when you put it in your cart as a customer or as a demonstrator, that they have it in stock, it'll let you put it in your cart, it'll let you buy it then. If they don't have it in stock, it's not going to be orderable at all until they get it back in stock. So you won't be getting little shipments, little back order shipments if you had little pieces missing or anything like that. So that's just a change in policy based on how the economy is right now and all the shipping mess. So I think really it'll end up disappointing you less, or I'm hoping that that's the case, that even though you can't order it now, it's kind of almost better than ordering it and then waiting 8 weeks or something for it to get here. So this way you'll know when you order it and you pay for it, you're going to get it. So anyway, if you have any other questions, let me know. And I'm going to hold these 2 cards up. Which one is your favorite, y'all who are watching? What do you like the most? Do you like the Joy with the Misty Moonlight and the Night of Navy? Or do you like the Cinnamon Cider and Old Olive and Real Red combo? What's your favorite color combo? What's your favorite card? Anything? Y'all have any comments? I'd love to hear them. And thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the Create with Kelley crew, and have a happy, happy, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for giving me this time tonight to show you something new. Hopefully you had fun and learned something new. That's what I always want everybody to do at my classes. So glad you tuned in. And if you're interested in coming to a class soon, let me know. I'll send you an invitation. Thanks. Fun times ahead. Bye-bye.